Takadai assembly video. These are the pieces in your Takadai kit. That's your assembly hardware. Long screws, short screws, heavier screws, and your hex drivers. Start assembling with the cross pieces and the bottom right and left bases. Starting, you should have the two holes on the bottom right with the counter bore on the bottom. And this is what your bottom right side should look like, going from the back to front as marked on your pieces. Once your base is assembled and looks like this, start putting on the front legs with the two screw holes. These here, 21.5 inches, 2 inserts on one end, 1 insert on the other. Don't tighten them all the way from this stage on until near the end, so that you have the flexibility to line up the screws and the holes correctly. Once that's done, grab the left rear leg, it's the one with the two holes in the pocket, and attach just that side. Once it's attached, we will then use the take-up reel and the back cross piece.
So, is it okay if I put the back cross piece on first?
Yep, it has the two holes. Go ahead and put the two. And then attach the single screw side to keep the take-up reel in place, and then screw through the base. It should look like this at this stage. Once you are this spot, you will attach the inner rails, lower inner rails. They need to have the hole pocket facing to the center. So they should look like this.
Just use the shorter screws, right?
And use the shorter screws on the back hole. Sorry, the way they're identified, this, it would actually be the front leg hole.
Yeah, it would have been easier if I tightened the legs all the way.
And make sure to use the longer ones on the hole outside of the groove.
Sorry.
Before tightening the second one in place, or attaching the screws, you need to put it in the pocket there for the sword rail. At this stage, it should look like this. Next step is to put on the Toriin base.
Oh, we're not putting the Toriin gate on?
Not until the end.
Okay.
So that gets attached to the lower rails, like that. At this stage, it should look like this, and then we'll put on the wrists here and here.
Sure, that's
This is what the wrist looks like. You're going to use a long screw on this side, connecting through here.
And make sure the hole, make sure
the hole is up, and use the short screw to attach the upper rail. Okay, the wrists should look like this when they're attached. Then we put on the outer rails, or upper rails.
Short screw?
Make sure to use a short screw in the groove. You should have one extra long screw when you're done. That's a spare. When it looks like this, go ahead and tighten up all the screws before putting on the Toriin gate. At this point, you'll switch between the 3/16 hex driver to the 1/4 inch hex driver, and use the 5/16 18 heavier screws with the washers. You can put the Toriin in either with the engraving facing you or facing out, whichever is your preference. It should fit either way. Once the Toriin's in, you use the pin on the take-up reel to keep it from unrolling when you have tension from the braid. It has a bend in it to keep it from falling through. And your sword and your Takadai is now assembled. Please enjoy.